This is a quick overview of San Giorgio's points of sale as GPOS. We'll just take a look at the different areas of the screen. Just make it full screen there. So this large area in white on the left is the main order entry area. This section down here at the bottom below it contains all the menu items. If you click on them, they're added into the order. This section here next to the order entry deals with the items on the order itself. This section over here has a list of orders that have been entered, all completed or are actually being delivered, and a large white area that allows you to see an order detail. At the top we have some buttons that relate to what kind of an order it is. Ordinarily it'll be for the restaurant, but you can also do deliveries and collections, etc. This button here deals with special instructions for a particular item. Clear printed I'll get on to. These discount buttons here, there's three of them. Only the deal one really used. The other two, the third one, drawer, actually opens the till drawer, and the middle one is going to be used for special promotions, and that'll be available at the time the special promotion is being run. You can change user, you can sign out of the till. Make time's really for a takeaway rather than a restaurant, so I won't bother with that. So let's start by entering a typical order. So somebody will walk in and they may be waiting for a table, and while they're waiting at the table at the bar, they'll order some drinks. So I'll give them a couple of drinks, and you can set them as being at the bar if you wish. Might be easier to find it, and you may want to give a printout for the barman at that point. What you can't see is in the background a kitchen copy is being printed. There we go for that one. Okay, so we find them a table. We click on this in the in progress area. These are the orders that are currently in progress as opposed to being completed, and we just click on the edit button there and we sit them down, and actually we're at table 4, I think, something like that. So they're going to order some starters. We're going to get prosciutto and pate, and they're going to order perhaps also a bottle of wine, let's say. A bottle of wine and some mains. Sit down. I think I'll have it cooked rare. We'll also have a salmon, and they might have some desserts later, but they're going to let you know later. So again, you do a kitchen print. Okay, look in the background. The kitchen print will appear just like that one there. The 2 drinks are not on there, that you printed those previously. Okay, so they're served the meals, and at the end they decide, actually we are going to want dessert, tiramisu panna cotta, and actually while we're at it we'll have a couple of coffees and a couple of brandies, why not? Okay, so we do the kitchen print, and off they go, and we end up with the kitchen print there. Okay. Now if I just show you this, so the items that have already been printed are in blue. So if you try and kitchen print again, you can't, because everything's been printed. Now you can either press this button, clear printed, and it will clear them all, and it will reprint the whole kitchen ticket, or you can actually, if for some reason they didn't like the steak for something and you wanted to do it again, you can just undo that, and the steak and kitchen print and the fillet steak would just be on the kitchen ticket. Okay, so you notice I press new ticket. Anything you do on here when you press new ticket, all that really does is move the order into the in progress and allows you a new ticket to work on. You don't lose anything. You can see here when I click the item in the in progress list that the bill will appear here. So we've got a summary of the order. You don't need to print it out or keep it printed. Now they finish the meal. Now you can either get them to pay straight away. If you click served or equals, it will ask you to pay. But ordinarily what you would do would be print an invoice. So you click print invoice and we end up with something like this. There we go. So, and it tells you that £93.40 is due. Very good. So at this point, actually what they want to say, well, we'd like to split the bill, please. So if you move it across and using edit and click on the split button here, I've already changed the names, but if you double click, and normally it'll come up split 0 and 1, it allows you to change the names. That's just by double clicking the name here. So I know that John had, let's see, brownie, dough, Paul paid for the wine, he's going to have that main course, that pan course, that coffee and that brandy. And you can see as you click on the green ones that it'll give you the split value there. Don't necessarily need it there, it just gives you an indication. You can have more than 2 splits. It shows you as 2 splits, but you keep adding. You can add up to 10 different splits. Beyond that, you're on your own. Okay, so if we okay that, click on new ticket. When we look at the invoice now, you'll see that there's a Paul section here with a subtotal, and a John section here for the things he's had, also with a subtotal. And if you actually print an invoice at this point, what you're going to see is a split invoice here. Now this was done before, and you can actually see the name split 0 and split 1 instead of Paul and John, but because I've edited the names, that would actually print out as Paul and John, but the same values anyway. Okay. So they now pay you. You can either press equals, but I would recommend that you actually press served here. And what the system can't do at the moment is take 2 card payment refs. There's 2 payments, could be 10, could be any whatever. So you can leave that blank, but they're going to play by card. We just OK that. And what that will do is it'll move it across to the completed section. So that'll build up over the night. We're not necessarily interested in that, but you can click on it to see the order if you need to. So if they come back and complain, so let's you can actually reopen it again now. Ordinarily that opens not available to you, but if you go into settings, toggle CTD, that open will be available to you. So let's just edit that, make a mistake, put a mistake on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this salmon here just by clicking on it, and you can see the salmon details are here. I'm going to increase the quantity by 2, and I'm going to click update, and now we've actually got 2 salmons. Okay, let me just quickly do this. Yeah, I'm going to pay cash for the extra salmon. Pretend they haven't done that. Okay, so it was a mistake in the first place, and you can see the salmon here, and it's times 2, and now it only shows you the price of the salmon at this boat, but the quantity is 2. But as you can see, the price has actually increased from the 93 that it should have been. So let's see how we've served that. So anyway, they come back and they say, excuse me, only had one salmon. So go in, make sure that that open is available by clicking on that toggle SCD. You open it, edit it, find the offending salmon, that's this one here. Remove the quantity, or it might be an additional item that you could just delete at this point. If you haven't served them, delete it. If you've served them by mistake, you would issue a refund. I'm going to change this to 1 and update that. Okay. So now, if we would click served, we've actually got a customer rose $15.95 there. So that's the change that it should have given them in the discount. So that's that. Okay, so ordinarily, while we're creating an order, we would use the kitchen print as we go. But the system is designed for use not just in restaurants but takeaways. If this was a takeaway, somebody would be walking in to the shop, which is why you've got the term shop there, or to the restaurant, to the takeaway, and they'd pay you them. They'd tell you what they want to pay it, and at that point you would press equals, and it would actually ask you to take the cash at that point. You would then make it and deliver them. So they'd be waiting in the shop. It would get made as a kitchen ticket already printed when you press equals, and then you'd say served. And because you've already paid it, it just goes straight across to there. And you can see these icons in here. So I just want to go through. Let's just do a delivery. I know it's unlikely to happen, so click on the delivery button, enter your postcode. Don't know where we are. Number 1. Pick any old address at random. So now you can see this is actually a delivered to postcode. We've not set a time in the delivery. If we go back to delivery, you can see we can put things like name and time in here. So they want it delivering at 8:45, let's say. Okay. So now it's actually at a specific time, and they are ordering a couple of pizzas. It's cool. And now when we click equals, because it's been delivered, the customer's not there. So he can't give you the cash or credit card. But he can, if he's on the phone and he wants to pay by credit card, then you can take that, you make it change. But we're just going to make it, which is the same as print kitchen, really. So now it goes off to be made. The food is prepared, and the delivery driver picks up the order for delivery. You hit deliver at this point, and tell the driver, pick a driver. You don't actually have to pick a driver unless Anthony or somebody wants you to. Generally, you can just click OK on that, and it then moves to being delivered. So this is mainly for takeaways, so you know which orders are being delivered at the time. The driver then comes back. You hit served. At this point, he should have the money for the delivery because it's given to him by the customer when he dropped it off. So we OK that. And so when you see that box is really about taking money. This box here. If it's for staff, you put the staff. It doesn't actually ask you for money. If it's a credit card, make is the same as a kitchen print, and delivery we've spoken about. Because this isn't a delivery, it won't actually let me select that. So, there we go. Alright, so we've gone through the ticket list. Just to take a quick look at one of the tickets and what you can see on here. So in this first area here, you see number 10, table 4, and 1037. So that's ticket number 10. Tickets start every day at 10 and move up. So if you keep a look at that number, if you're on to 60, something, then you're doing well. And we can also use the ticket number to identify two other members of staff if we wish, rather than saying for table 4, ticket number 10 is a particular ticket as well, and we know that it's for table 4. The 1037 really is for takeaway. I wouldn't worry about that. We've got a make time of 20 minutes, so it's a time of order plus that 20 minutes, and you can adjust that. But it was actually taken at 10:15. Now this particular one, because it's completed, has been paid for. So it was, the order started at 10:15, it's been paid, and the total value is £93.40. And then you've got 3 lines of the start of the menu. You've got a table icon to say that it was at a table. This was a takeaway icon. This was a delivery icon. And we've also got a collect option. So very briefly, let's put a collect in. He wants to collect it at 8:30. I mean, on my clock it's gone 8:30, but we always ask for a name usually. So Joe's going to pick it up at 8:30. Okay, and he too is ordering a couple of pizzas. We okay that. Now here, because it's a collection, normally they phone up. So we just go to the kitchen and make it. You could quite just as easily have done a kitchen print there. It wouldn't have made any difference. Okay, so they turn up, and you serve it to them at the time, and you take the money off them. So there you can see that was a collection icon. Staff are on fillet steak always, aren't they? Rare. So we click equals on that. Staff. These are different names. These are just test names. So we'll okay that. The staff got. If I make it Anthony because he's got a bigger allowance. So there's the staff icon there. So that's staff. But typically in the restaurant you will see a table. These buttons here move the list up and down. We've only got 5 on there, so let's have a somebody pops in, put on table 1. They just have a couple of pastas. We okay that. Normally we'd kitchen print it, serve it, so on and so forth. But they've eaten it, and it's been served. Okay, so now you can see we've actually got more items. You can use the mouse wheel to move up and down, or you can use these buttons here. The same when the in progress gets bigger. There's room for 14 and so on here. There's only room for 2 down there. So that's the tickets creation. Now, so the difference then between equals really is when you're paying for it, mainly means takeaway. So in general, I would use a kitchen print, which just prints a kitchen ticket, and when they're ready to pay for the item and leave, I would print an invoice ticket at this point, and then click served. Okay. Now let's look at some of the other things that we can do with this. So I'm just going to take this one back out again, just to work on. I'll clear the printed as well, so it's not been printed. So whilst they're ordering, we've got a fillet steak cooked rare. There may be some special instructions. Let's try to think. So salmon. I don't. The person's allergic to onions, so we can put an onion. Allergy there, and that will actually appear on the kitchen ticket. So you can change it to. Now, as you notice, these add-ons. So there's some there for the fillet steak. There's a cooked rare and what we call add-ons, and the Diane sauce are tabbed slightly. and they appear in. If we click on one of those and select one of those and then try in special instructions, because it's an instruction itself, you can't do anything, so you need to click on the original item. So we'll do that. No onion. Okay. Let's see what else we can do. So looking at these, we've gone through split. The split saved. You can come back and change it at any point. Cancel that. Printed. This printed one just says, actually I've already printed this. Or if you want, more likely it's going to be used if you've already printed it and the printer's ran out of paper or something, you want to print it again, you can just unprint the last two items or whatever it was that you've just added to the bill. So you press it once, it'll set it, press it again, it'll clear it. Refund. Okay, so yeah, he's not happy with his steak. Steak was probably perfectly good, but you're in a good mood and you think, well, actually I'll give him, he did have to wait a long time for it, so I will give him a refund. Because you've served it, it's actually best to give it a refund. So you select the main item and click the refund button, and it will say that the item's been refunded. There you go. If it's not been served, like so, for example, we run out of tiramisu. Very sorry, sir. No, I'll have nothing. Just delete it, and it's not been served. The main reason being is that it records then in the data where the raw materials have been used to allow us to calculate raw materials. So other things we can do in here, we can move things up and down. Not sure why, but yeah, we can. Now, let's suppose, for example, that they have the new government £10 vouchers. So this gives you 50% off up to the value of £10 per person. So we would like to discount it. I'm just going to get rid of this refund. If you want to get rid of it, you can delete it. So let's suppose they don't have the brand is at the end. There we go. Okay. So we've got a government voucher. Thank you very much. So click on the deal button. This deal applies to the order being worked on. There's 3 discount options. So you get a 25% staff only discount. You've got a target price discount. So if you click that, that will provide a discount based on it. So if you think, I'll let you have it for £70, for example, you just put 70 in there. And OK that, and it'll give you the discount to bring the price down to 70. Just delete that. If you want to get rid of the discount, just delete it. But going back to the vouchers, that's the first one. So the way they work, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, month of August 2020, you get a 50% discount, £10 per person. So we've got 2 people here, so that's £20, and it excludes alcohol. So we'll click OK that. Now, because it's quite a large order, it's actually maxed out at the £10 per person. So I'm going to delete that. I'm actually going to delete the main course. Dump. Now notice when we delete, actually it doesn't delete the add-on item. There's a reason for that, but just remember that when you're doing a delete, delete the add-ons as well. Okay, so now if we do the deal, that should be a bit cheaper. Okay, the special discount works out at £9.60. Why is that? Mainly because the alcohol, so the wine here, and the brandies, well, the brandies have gone, but the wine here is taking up a large percentage of the cost. So if you worked out the value without the wine, 50% of that value would be £9.60. Okay, so let's just remove that for now. So if we added, so the discount that you apply is applied at the ticket. So if somebody, for example, you were giving somebody 25%, you would actually apply that discount at the very end prior to checkout, because if they subsequently said, right, you know, I will have those brandies, thank you very much, and you applied the 25% discount, let's say, for example, that gives you your 25%. Okay, and then they're going to have another two. Those two haven't been discounted. Now, to get around it, what you can do is delete that and then add it again. Okay, and it's improved now. Okay, all right. Now, when it's over here, let's have a look at these buttons. We've got the edit, we've got delivery, so that's for when it's being passed to the driver. We've got served when it's being completely paid for. We've got some up-down buttons when this gets a little bit busy and there's not enough room to see them all. We've got print invoice. You can actually delete it. Now, where the customer's paid, it won't let you delete it. It won't actually let you delete it anyway. What it does is it hides it if you try and delete something. So because it's paid this one, it'll ask you to give you a refund. So you give the refund, and then what it shows in the is the refund, who gave the refund and how much it was back for. Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. So. Now, one thing you might want to do, for example, is let's have a look at just a couple of pizzas here, a couple of desserts. Is separate the bill, and what you can do is you can just add a special instruction here and just put a line in or something like that, and that'll separate the starters from the mains, and you could do the same in here. Okay, but another thing you could do is actually you could have a product that was just a line, differentiate. Now we can go in and we can change the product. Now go into settings, edit raw data, edit product table, and here's all the products we have. Now we can manipulate this table. We can sort by product ID. What's product ID? It's just a number assigned to everything that's on the menu item. A product reference here. This is used for reporting. So if it's got the word wine in it, we know it's wine. Category tells us which group. So if we go back here, so each of these has an actual number behind the scenes. Basically tells us where to put it. Sell price, buy price, we're not populating at the moment. Tax class, that's quite important, we'll get to that. Button text, or what appears on the button as opposed to this product text here which appears on the invoice. And hint text, actually only used for web. Yeah, we do. There is a web version of this as well. I wouldn't bother with display order and all the rest of it. But so if we click one over here, we can actually go in and update it. So if you're looking for something, for example, it's probably useful to start the category. If you press it once, it'll sort top down and sort it the other way when you press it again. So we can see that all the starters are here. So if we know it's a main course, or let's say it's a pasta, salads, risottos, main course, pizzas, pastas here. Okay. So let's say we wanted to change the price of the lasagna. We could go over here, we could alter the price and we can click on update, and now you can see the pasta has got a different price. Just change that back in case I forget. Okay. If we want a new one, if you actually click on this create new, I'll go through the fields here. So the product name is what appears on the invoice. So I'm just going to do that. Okay. Product ref. Just going to call it test one. It should be unique, but like I say, we only use it for reporting. Price. Well, it's actually 0 price, and it's no tax as well. Where we're going to put it? Well, I would put it in, I don't know, sides or something like that. We do want it to print in the kitchen. We don't want it to print on a receipt. We don't want the divider necessarily on the output when we print. Leave it as without these others. So if it's an add-on item, things like well done, rare, etc. are add-on items, or no tomato is an add-on item, and that will indent it, attach it then. What do we want on the button? I'm just going to call it div. It's a division if you like. And you don't have to give it in text, but I'm just going to put div in text. Does it have a kitchen section? I'll leave it. This was for when in takeaways often you would like to separate out the different cooking sections. So the pizza section would be separate from the cook section, so the kitchen ticket would be split up in those sections. We don't use that in San Giorgio's. And then when you've done, click create new. Now you can change the ID number, but this will automatically pick the next highest for you below the special ones. There are special ID numbers. So it says there from 10,000 to 10,200 are reserved for the actual table numbers. So it's 59, it's picked you the next one specific. So you can create a new one there. Okay, now you need to save and exit. And now when we go to the sides, we've got a new button, or should have. Actually, we won't have done it just yet because we do need to assign a button to it. So let's go to settings, edit buttons. There we go. Right, so if we find sides, yep. Did I put it in sides? Maybe I didn't. Let's have a look. Where was it? It was number 600, wasn't it? Didn't add it. So I didn't save it. Try now. 560. Now we add it. We'll select a category product. I've actually put it in drinks, haven't I? That's not good. Or it's selected drinks for me, so I'm just going to edit that again. And we wanted it in sides, didn't we? There we go. And now because it already exists, I'm going to update it. There we go. Let's create the right category. There it is. Let's save and exit. Click on sides. There we go. It's here. So now we've got a divider. I don't like the look of that button, so I am going to go in and edit the buttons. I'll go to sides. There it is. For the first of all, I'm going to stick it at the end. I don't like where it is. And I'm going to make it a different colour. I'm going to save the button, save and exit. And now we've got a divider here that we can use. So, set nil cost. So if we want to place something specifically, if we go to the one above where we want it, click it, it'll put it in below. There and there. Okay, and then we have a divider, and you see now we put settings. Quickly go through these, so we can select the printer. I wouldn't recommend you do that at all. You've only got one printer. Settings, again, I would suggest you leave this alone. This is things like the VAT number that's printed on the ticket and other things. So that the footer ticket, the text that we apply there. You can change the icons. You can change the postcode buttons. I'm not sure why you would want to. Certainly don't replace that one. Tax rates, again, please leave those alone. Given the situation with the new government stuff, this now has the 5% rather than 20%. When we go back to normal, we'll add a number 3 and go through and change those. So I wouldn't bother with those. Till float. Okay, so this allows you to deal with cash. So you count in the existing float in your till. You might have some 5s. Let's just clear them and say, right, okay, we've got 6 £5 notes, and then we've got 12 of those, and I don't know, 25, etc. Okay, and we can count the number and it'll work out exactly what the till float is, and we can save that, and every time you save it, it creates a record for it, so it knows what's in the till. At the end of the night, things that have been paid in cash can be balanced up. Reports, cash day reports, what we sold today. Staff sales. So you saw that when we had a staff mill, so we're going to do this. Press that, and we're going to have staff. We've got a list of names here, and then let's set an allowance. Now normally you can't get to this unless you're an administrator, so you can change the names here, or you can disable some of the names in the list, or you can literally just type some new ones, but that'll make a difference to the staff. Okay. Ticket lookup. This is a test system, so none of these are real tickets and invoices, but we've got a little bit of data. So if we just have a look at July 2020, you can see the ticket ID here. If somebody comes back to the shop and says, I don't know, I've had food poisoning, I was here on Thursday, the 10th of July, or whatever day that was, and I had some chicken or something and it wasn't right, so you can look through, oh, where's the chicken? I don't know, because I'm making it up, I might not have any. So, okay, so they weren't happy with the chocolate fudge cake, let's say, so you've now found the ticket. But it basically allows you to look back at the tickets, or they might actually find a problem where they were overcharged and want to complain a few days later. It at least lets you look back at historic tickets. These things go all the way back, so you can look at January. They just so happens there's test data in January. There we go. That's a good one. Collection from India. Very good. There you go. Always on the menus, this allows you to exit. No need to exit. There's your settings. Postcode lets you, it's the same as clicking the delivery, but you might want to look up a postcode for some reason. And sales gets you back to the main screen. And there we have it.